Hey, how you doing? Duff here. And behind me you see my Anycubic i3 Mega, which has become my most trusted and reliable and just probably my all-around favorite printer. I use this printer to do the majority of my printing for the 3D EUC stands that I make, just because it's so simple and good, and yeah. And things have been going great. I've had very minimal problems with this printer. But I did have an issue late last week. I had started to print overnight, and I came in the next morning to take a look at it, and it was a mess. It had started to print, and then it looked like the part came off the plate, and I had just a big pile of yellow spaghetti all over the place. I'm like, oh, okay, well, just something weird must have happened. I'm not sure what would cause that. So I cleaned off the build plate and started it again, walked out of the room, and came back like 15 minutes later, and it was still sitting there, not doing anything. I'm like, well, that's odd. And I looked at the build plate temperature, and it hadn't moved from, it was reading the ambient temperature of the room, but it had not heated it at all. And of course I did a little bit of Googling, and I found that that is not all that uncommon of a problem with the Anycubic i3 Mega. Evidently there's an issue with the wires for the heating bed breaking after a period of time, and I'm assuming that's what happened to me. It's kind of weird the way that it's connected. Alright, so it's connected to the back leveling post there. I guess that's their way to reduce stress on that cable. But I noticed as I was eyeing this up for my potential repair that the sleeve around the wires, that looks damaged right there, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's heat damage maybe. Evidently what happens is, just after, you know, thousands if not millions of back and forth cycles, these cables for whatever reason were not designed to take that, which is kind of crazy, and they break, and it's a pretty common problem. So the option is you can either replace the cables or buy another bed to just replace the whole bed unit. And my option, and my decision was to go with option 2 there. I actually went on Amazon and found a replacement bed with heating plate and attached wires. In my model, the contacts are soldered on to the plate, the one that's on the printer, and this replacement one is that as well. I have seen some pictures online of people that have a connector for their hot bed plate. Maybe that's an old design, I'm not sure. I don't know enough about the history of the Anycubic i3 to tell you that. But the reason I decided to just get a whole new replacement bed was because I knew I'd have brand new cables all the way around, because if one of those cables is broken, more than likely another one will break shortly thereafter. And the other thing was, it wasn't all that expensive. I expected it to be you know, pretty pricey for a bed and a new ultra base surface. It was $29.99 on Amazon for the whole thing. So I'm like, oh, that's not unreasonable. So that's the route that I went. So at this point I'm going to take off the old bed, and I'm going to have to obviously disassemble the printer to some degree to get to the cable that goes inside the control box. So that's the next step. Alright, first step, obviously you need to unplug your printer. I'm going to disconnect the wires on the side here, these connectors. I think there's 3 of them. Color coded, red. Yeah, red, green, and black. They're all unique sizes, so you can't mess that up. And then I'm just looking here, because I've had this apart once before. I think I can actually take the bottom off here just by removing this bar, if I remember correctly. So that's what we'll do first. Alright, so I just removed the 2 small screws to hold on this crossbar, and then I need to take off the screws for the bottom. I'm trying to remember how many we got here. 1, 2, 7? 7, I think. Okay, should come out. If I take all the screws out, it will. Okay. Get that out of the way. Alright, so right here, right there is my power cord, or my heated bed cord, and it looks like it's tie wrap right here where it goes in. I'm going to be cutting some tie wraps to make this work. All right, let me get these cut. Need to cut this one. Be very careful to only cut the tie wrap. And this one. And then this tie wrap up top here. The cable should be pretty loose. Looks like I have some more work to do because this fan. Okay, well I guess that's just me being unknowledgeable, because it looks what's happening is that red and black wire actually comes underneath and must connect to these terminals here. Question is which ones. Okay, right there. Okay, so it's these terminals right here. That's what I need to. It's the third set down. So I'm going to get a really small screwdriver and see if I can pull them out. And okay, got to remember too, red up top, black on the bottom, because the other two terminals is the opposite, red on the bottom. So this one red up top, black on the bottom. So I did not have to take that fan off, even though it might make it easier for me to fish these wires back underneath. So I got these nice little screwdrivers here that hopefully should release these two terminals. Yep. Alright, there we go. Red and black are out. It should come right out. And then there's a blue-green wire here somewhere. Let's see, where did that go? Okay, so the other wire in the harness is this blue-green one right here. And it comes right down here. Alright, again, pay attention to your orientation. I'm not sure if this is a keyed connector or not, but the green wire is facing to the right in this configuration. So get the fan to stay out of the way. The idea was it to take that fan off. Looks like there's some silicone down there, so I guess prevent that from coming loose, possibly. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, I got this out. I just had to give it a little bit more rocking back and forth. All right, so at that point, now what did I say? Green top, right? And red top up here. All right. So at this point, I should be able to pull this old harness fully out. It's going to be a little weird the way I got to do this, because I have to kind of fish through the wires for the new bed while it's not actually attached to the printer. But they give you a lot of extra wires, so I don't think it'll be a big problem. Do be careful to not put this in a position where you could bend it. And overall, you want to be gentle with it. You don't want to be throwing those solder joints around either. So I'm going to fish my wires back in through the top. No, I did not look at a how-to on how to do this, so this may not be the ideal way, but hopefully it's an effective way. Alright, so now this one I said the green goes to the top, so let's do that one. Green on this side, blue on that side. Alright, got that in there. Now these I have to slide underneath the system board here and pop them out the other side. Hopefully there's nothing in the way. They're coming through, but they're low. You don't need to see me do this futzing around. Okay, I got these through by just coming through closer to the USB card reader. Alright, so those are through. So now I just need to feed. Remember, it's the reverse of the top two, so the red one goes in the top and black one goes in the bottom. Make sure those are good and secure. Give them a good tug. definitely make sure those are secure. Okay, so let's see, I can put the fan back on here. Basically, I'm just going to be putting the fan on and then just zip tying these wires again. Okay. Alright, the fan's back on. Just going to put a zip tie around here. Alright, so I guess we'll use a nice yellow one. That'll work. Not making it super tight. Alright. And there was one up here. I think there's one back here too. I really think we're good though. I don't think I need another one. And I'll put one up here once I know how much room I need, how much slack I need in this cable. Let's see though. In order to do that, thread this through up here before I put it back together. Alright, makes sense, doesn't it? There's some holes here as it goes into the case that you can utilize to do this. So we'll just make sure that we have plenty of slack in the cable up top, and then I can tighten it once we determine how much we need. Alright, so at that point I can put the bottom back on. No rocket science to that. Alright, just got the last of those screws in. Now I just have to reattach this crossbar piece here. Alright, crossbar's back on. Now we need to carefully flip this back around without, again, stressing this plate. Oh, let's plug in this. I'm going to plug in these side connectors while they're nice and in my face. Now we're going to try to set this up slowly. With mine right there. I did not want that to happen, but it's probably okay. So now I need to remove the old plate. So that means I have to unscrew all the brass adjustment screws. I found this build plate is really once I have it level, I hardly have to ever touch it. I mean, before I started having these problems, I probably didn't set the level on this thing for 3 months, and it worked every time through many prints. Alright, well, when lifting this off, obviously you want to be careful with the springs. I don't remember if I get new springs with the new kit, so just going to be very mindful. 3 of the 4 of them are going to fall right off. The one with the tie wrap will not. So there we go. Alright, old bed is out. Here is the way that it's affixed with another tie wrap. I guess I need to do something similar. Here's the contact points. I'm going to use this as a reference as far as installing the new posts. But yeah, I wanted to look closer at this. Yeah, see, I think that's the source of my problem right there. Might as well cut that sheath off and take a look at it, huh? Yep, the wires in there are frayed and broken. Seems pretty odd that Anycubic wouldn't be able to figure out how to use wiring that wouldn't break under stress, but yeah, looks like that might be the case. Okay, so it appears that I do not get new springs with my new build plate, so I need to cut off this last tie wrap. And at this point, I'm going to be building up my new plate. So I just need to kind of emulate what we have here. Basically, it looks like it goes through the top. The screw comes from the top, and then there's a white nylon washer. Small parts, don't lose them. Alright, what do we got here? Okay, just a flat head, so part through the top, small nylon washer, and you put your nut on. I guess I want to get it tight, but not too tight, I think, so just use a pliers or something along those lines. Alright, I no longer need this since I know what I'm doing, hypothetically. Put this down flat. Alright, so I'm just going to repeat this process on all four corners. Okay, I actually do have, this is a wrench that came with, scratch that. I thought this actually fit the nut, but no, even this is too big, so, yep, just going to use the pliers. The needle nose pliers, actually. And, I mean, you can tell when it's tight, you get no more turns out of it when it's nice and snug, so. Turn to that point, but not beyond. Okay, I have all four posts attached. Now, next I would put it back on the printer, I guess. I still have to attach the any base. Just debating if that would be better to attach when it's not on the bed yet, or if I should attach that now. There should be a blue film on here. I think. I mean, I recently replaced the bed on my A5, and I almost didn't realize that there was a blue film on here before I attached the ultra base to it, so it's looking like we got the same thing here. So let's, yep, okay. If I can get a corner started. There we go. Alright, well, I'm kind of thinking I need to put this on the bed here. I'm just worried because this is aluminum, you can't really press on it very hard, but yeah, I'm thinking I need to mount this first. So let me put my springs back in place. You really get an appreciation for just how fragile this aluminum is. It feels very, very thin. Surprising that you hear lots of stories of it bending easily. I guess they have to do that for heat transfer, but it's not the best for durability. Alright, I got all four screws on there. So now, I think I'm going to put the ultra base on. What do you think? So you have a nice adhesive layer here in the bottom. Got to peel that off. And you have some protective tape on the top, which is nice. So I'm going to do my very best to line this up accurately. I've done similar things before, like I mentioned with the A5, and I didn't do a fantastic job of getting it aligned, but see, the thing is I don't want to push super hard because I don't want to bend the plate, obviously. Putting my hand underneath it to support it as I'm pressing. Alright, so now I need to decide how I'm going to do the zip tie stuff. Oh, here, let me get these on just to keep it in place. I hope this works because I really need this printer to be up and running. I have some stuff that I promised somebody I was going to make for them this week, and I really prefer to make it on this printer because I get my best results on this one. How much wire I should have exposed here. Because if I attach it like it was before, I would tie wrap it right here. Okay, yeah, I guess I'll just do the same thing. Tie wrap this around the spring so that should not stress the solder joints themselves. And the only other thing I have to determine is if what I have exposed hanging out here of the hole is enough. But I can tell you, if it's the same style wire as what they already have, it'll probably just break again. Which is unfortunate. Yeah, I guess you want more wire exposed than less, huh? The more wire you have, hopefully the less angles you're putting. less stress you're putting on the wire. Alright, let's go with that. I don't even know that I need to twist or tie wrap it, but I will. Alright. See, I don't even know that putting a cable chain on here, would that help? And I actually have some small conduit stuff here. I wonder if that would help. If I could just maybe stiffen up the area that does all the bending, maybe. I actually bought this stuff for something else because I thought I read something about somebody putting like a cable chain on there to try to make it a little less damaging. So let's try to do the same thing here. Alright, come off. This is just stuff I got on Amazon. I think this might be ½ inch. I don't know if that's going to do anything. I don't know, what do you think? I don't know. I don't think it could hurt anything, so let's go with that. Worst case, I spend another $30 and I buy another one and do it again. So let's take this off. And the big test is to see if it will heat. Right? Let's preheat TLA. See if the bed starts heating. Okay, I have the little red LED underneath, so it should. Alright, good. It's going up. Okay, so it is heating. That means I must have the wires connected correctly. So now what I need to do is, there's a lovely fan. Now what I need to do is level the bed. Alright, so there you go. I leveled the bed. It's printing along. The adhesion looks good, looks level, and the bed is holding temperature. Looks good. So only time will tell how long this lasts. Like I said, this printer was doing the majority of my printing. So you know, maybe this is just something Anycubic I3 Mega owners have to put up with, and you know, just figure you're going to have to replace your heat bed wires every 6 months, 8 months, whatever, something like that, depending on the level of printing. But I really do still love this printer. It's outside of this problem, it's really been the only thing that I've had to, you know, fix since I've owned it. So good printer. So hopefully you found this interesting, helpful. Like I said, I didn't really refer to other sources on the internet as far as their way of doing it. I just was kind of doing it by my feel, so that doesn't mean it's the right way or the best way, but it does seem to be a way to get to the finish line. It is working. So if you found this video interesting, please take a second to give it a big thumbs up. If this is your first time on the channel, please consider subscribing, and feel free to leave your comments, thoughts, ideas, suggestions. Tell me what I did right, tell me what I did wrong. Just leave it all below. I take the time to look at every comment that's out there and try to respond if I can. So that's all I got for you for now. Until next time, Duckman out.